Hey guys and welcome. Yesterday 343 Industries hosted a Season 2 community livestream, and in this livestream they detailed a lot of things around Season 2, what to expect to come, their priorities from Season 2 and beyond, and some of the struggles and challenges that they're encountering when developing content for Halo Infinite, and why Season 2 is 6 months long. Also alongside this, we've got a really cool little insight and tease into Season 2's narrative and the two narrative events that we're going to have in the 6-month long season. So I'm looking forward to going into those and diving into a bit of lore around those as well. But today I want to spend a little bit of time just breaking down what this entire live stream was, some of the things that was mentioned, and also showing off the start of the Season 2 cinematic and the story, which sounds very, very cool as well. And not to mention as well, a little teaser throughout the live stream did crop up there, and it did sneak its way in there when we were looking through the Battle Pass, and I want to go ahead and break that down for what we know so far as well. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, guys. If you guys watched the stream, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, but let's get into it.
Medic, on me!
Yes, grab that kid's medic back!
No! They aren't hostiles. They're wolves. Back from the hunt.
This Neuralink is corrupted, man. I'll have to pull the chip and...
No! Do that, he dies. And we lose everything he risked his life for.
So as you've just seen from the cinematic for Season 2, it looks really cool and the story itself sounds really interesting. But that isn't all of the cinematic that we're going to see, that's literally just the beginning of it. So essentially what Joe Staten was saying is that in this picture, if you will, there'll be two seasonal Spartans, and they're the two that we've seen in the teasers for Season 2 a while ago, and also within this trailer as well. So on the right, we've got Sparkling Declan, in the middle, we've got Spartan Dim, and then on the left, that's our Spartan. The cool thing about this as well is that our Spartan will show up exactly how we configure it in the menus. So if we have the George armor core on, it will show up as the likes of George. If we have our own Spartan with the fiery helmet and shoulder pieces, it will show up as that as well. And all of this will happen in every cutscene throughout multiplayer. A really interesting thing that I've mentioned at the start of this video, but I want to bring up right now, is something called a seasonal narrative event. Now, the seasonal narrative is essentially the story for multiplayer. We were told when Halo Infinite first released that the multiplayer is going to have its own lore and directly link in with the overall lore of Halo as well. So it will have something to do with the plot of Halo Infinite's campaign, and it'll be sort of an expansion on the side of that. Essentially, it'll be a spin-off type of thing, but we're involved with our own Spartans in multiplayer rather than having a direct correlation to the campaign, if that makes any sense at all. But anyway, it looks really cool and sounds really, really good as well. And aside from the campaign, we get a separate story that we can prize, to be honest. I love lore. A lot of my channel is based around lore, narrative, and breaking things down. So this is really amazing to see them taking this approach as well. I do hope that we're not going to be let down and this is just a cutscene. I hope this is more of a playable mission in the lore and the sort of the storyline of multiplayer itself. I think that would make things way better. But the story will continue and span over all of the seasons as well. And Joe Staten, the sneaky devil, did even add in a little bit of a tease towards the end, saying that, and even into experiences we have planned and beyond. So maybe that's a little hint into campaign DLC there, Joe. But I do think this is a really good way for them to advertise the fact that Halo Infinite's overall canon and just general lore isn't just campaign based. The more free-to-play players can also experience a story-driven side or a narrative within the multiplayer as well, and maybe it'll actually entice them to want to go ahead and purchase the campaign. And you never know, maybe this is how they tease campaign DLC coming forward in the future. Now, moving on to more of the discussion things with Sketch, and also going into some of the bits with Joseph Staten as well. And really the things that are coming to Season 2 are the state that the overall game is currently in. So, to start off, the Sketch mentioned at the beginning of the live stream that 343 want to do a better job with communicating with their audience, and I think we can all agree that that is definitely needed. And a way they're looking to do that is very similar to a way that was available in MCC, and it still is available right now. A player can go to a page of some sort, whether that's in-game or whether that's on Halo Waypoint, and it will show them exactly what's being worked on and prioritized right now, the progress of that project, and how long it will potentially take for it to be addressed and fixed. This is coming to Halo Infinite as well, which is a very positive thing in that respect also, and I'm glad they're taking this approach. The next part of the show is introducing our Lord and Saviour Joseph Staten, and he actually discusses a lot of things around Halo Infinite and essentially what is going on right now, the focuses of the teams, why they can't produce content regularly, and just generally the overall state and morale of the team. So, starting off with Forge, which is one of the things that I did mention, and this was a big concern for a lot of people on the roadmap. Forge on the roadmap mentions that it's in beta, and this, especially for myself, got a lot of people worried in terms of what this actually means for the release of Forge come September time. It's not as bad as what we think. In fact, it's miles better than what we initially thought. So, as mentioned, I thought Forge, with it being a beta, it would launch with a set of features which were very limited, and that over time it would expand and then we would eventually get the full release of Forge, but that actually isn't the case. So Forge is being treated like a live service element, like multiplayer and campaign also. So when Forge does essentially launch in September as a beta, it will be the full version of Forge right now. Everything within Forge, there'll be no features held back, nothing like that. Forge will be 100% complete essentially at launch. The reason why it's in beta is because Forge, as I mentioned, is going to be treated as a live service game as well. So this feature will get updates and additional features added over time. Halo Infinite is of course a 10-year game, and within that 10-year period, this game is going to be updated over that period. So we're going to have new features coming in over and over again. The next part, co-op campaign, and obviously the network co-op wise on campaign as well, is apparently in great shape and is a great addition when it comes in August this year. Joe mentioned that he was playing it, the brand new build, a couple of weeks ago as of recording this, being on this live stream, and he said that it was a very, very good experience. Of course, a lot of people will probably say that he has to say that, but if it wasn't that good, then I suppose he probably would tell us, because they're pretty open with us in this live stream. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to playing with friends on campaign as well, going through the campaign again, and yeah, just seeing the experiences of doing that with some friends. So Joe mentioned that everyone in 343 weren't really happy with the state of the roadmap themselves, and that their ideal goal is to pump out seasons every 3 months. But reading through the lines of what he said, he basically said that the state in which the team is behind the scenes right now simply just cannot deliver the amount of content required to have a 3-month-long season, and to pump out regular updates and content is just not in a good state right now. They're working on it, and when they can get to that point, it'll be great. But right now, it can't be done at all, and this is why we're having another 6-month-long season. Essentially, one of the ways that they're trying to supplement for this is to extend this season to give them more time to prepare for the next season, and also just take a little bit of stress off having a 3-month period of having to create this next season and it potentially being rushed. So that's what they're doing really, and they've supplemented this with us. We're having 2 narratives in this season, so we're not going to just have one narrative for the 6 months. We're going to have one narrative at the start, one narrative in the middle, and potentially more content throughout. Maybe we'll be blessed with a couple of new maps throughout the 6-month season as well, but I do think that we're not going to have a season like Season 1 again. They've definitely learned from it, and I think Season 2 is going to be way, way better than what we've basically experienced in Season 1. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. And one more thing as well, before we do move on to the lore around the narrative, it's actually something called drop pods. Drop pods is something new coming to Halo Infinite, and it was mentioned by Joe Staten and Sketch. A drop pod is essentially an update that will come monthly. So we'll get our monthly drop pod, and within this it'll be things like fixes and other things like that that don't need to really wait for the new season or anything like that to be implemented. So this drop pod can be like weapon balancing changes, just general fixes, bug fixes, user interface changes, stuff like this will come within these drop pods, and they will happen every single month. And these drop pods again are just updates. Okay, so now moving on to the next part of the stream, which was between Jerry Hook and Unishek. So this is where they detailed a lot of feedback from Season 1 and showcasing the Season 2 Battle Pass as well, everything on it. A couple of things right off the bat as well. As promised pre-launch to Halo Infinite, the Battle Passes within Halo Infinite, so the proper premium ones, not the event ones, just the normal Battle Passes for the season, are available for you to go back and replay and complete if you haven't managed to do them in that season. So there's no time frame to complete it. There's no FOMO, if you will, with the Battle Pass. You can buy it and go back and complete it whenever you like. So that's a really, really cool thing, and I'm really glad they're sticking to their word on this as well. And you can return to it whenever you want, which is really good. For me, I've not finished it because I've not played it often, so I'll be looking to go back and finish it as well as playing Season 2. So I'll be looking forward to that. Not only this though, the Season 2 Battle Pass has been significantly improved, now having up to 1,000 credits earnable within the 100 tiers, armor unlocks at much lower levels and more frequent as well, and just less crap within the Battle Pass, like filler items and things like that. Emblems, backgrounds are not there in as much capacity as what they were. They're still there, but they're not as frequent as what they were in the previous Battle Pass. There's a lot more customization available to unlock through the Battle Pass, so thank you 343 for listening to that, and I'm glad that the Battle Pass is in a much better state. One thing to also note though, if you've not purchased the Season 1 Battle Pass, you will not be able to go back and progress it. Although the progress that you have right now will still be there if you decide to purchase it in the future. If you're tier 67 right now on the Battle Pass but you've not purchased it, you can't go back and continue to progress that if you've not purchased it when the second season Battle Pass comes out, if that makes sense. So you have to go back and purchase it in order for you to continue to progress your previous Battle Pass. So to be fair, I kind of expected that, and it's not really a problem for me, but just as a disclaimer there for anyone that hasn't purchased it. However, there was something very interesting in the middle of this teaser. Now, something did come up on screen during the showcase of the Battle Pass that I do want to play for you right now, and I want you guys to listen to it and take a look.
Security flag. Access attempt logged.
Are you seeing this?
Success.
This can't be right.
No way.
Firewall compromised.
This doesn't make sense.
Breach detected.
Do we know what's vulnerable
Oh
yet?
god.
Core files
You've
targeted.
got an intact matrix core.
Signature is General Hana.
Answer me.
Where did the core
Data
go?
transfer in
I
progress.
think we're about to find out. They're here.
Transfer complete.
Lux below. Artificial minds, real salute.
So I think this is a teaser for the general storyline for what is going on within Halo Infinite's multiplayer for this season. So we have 4 Spartans speaking in the background, 2 of them being probably Dim and Declan, which we've seen at the start. One of the other ones potentially will be our Spartan, but again, I'm not sure, can't confirm that. But there are 4 Spartans, 2 of them we don't know who they are just yet, and 2 of them I presume is Dim and Declan. The next part is that it mentions that the signal is Dural Harnai, aka it's a banished signal. So the Banished are looking to hack into the system for some reason. This may be, again, to flesh out the story's narrative, and this could be something going into it. So the Banished are trying to hack into the system for whatever reason, and we don't know what that is just yet. The company itself is called Lux Voluspa. Now, we don't know what Lux Voluspa are just yet, and I'm sure we'll find out further into it. But a couple of things that I want to mention and go into before we do get into more of the lore and the theories is that a couple of lines I wanted to detail quickly. So the first one was, where did the core go? So what is the core? Could this be an AI of some type? I don't know. Something interesting to think about there. But also a screen again showing the Lux Voluspa. We don't know who this is right now, but potentially, in my theory and opinion, is that this is a technology company of some sort in the canon of Halo. Done a Google of it. I've checked in the wiki. There's nothing really about it on there. So I think this is a new company. But at the end of this trailer, it says artificial minds, real solution. Now, this screams out to me that this is something to do with the Spartans AI on multiplayer. Now, we have all the AIs on multiplayer. This must be where they're created or formed or something along those lines. So maybe it's a company that develops these Spartan AIs for multiplayer, and the core that the Banished are trying to get a hold of and that they actually do go ahead and take is like the central system where the data is pulled from those AIs, and that's where they basically relay all of the information. So these AIs are I'm pretty sure they're dumb AIs, so they have like a system or a core where they pull all their information from and just essentially relay it onto you. I believe this is what it is as well. This seems the most logical explanation as to what it is, especially referencing a core as well. So the Banished wanted to take it and potentially learn more around the UNSC to help fight back against the Chief and the UNSC. Or even it could happen before the events of Halo Infinite. So this could be how the Banished might have found out where the UNSC Infinity were and their next steps onto Zeta Halo. So yeah, interesting to think about there as well. But their training facilities and Spartans, more about that as well, and general stuff. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, but I'm looking forward to this narrative event coming May the 3rd and future events as well. I just want more lore, and this is really going to help with that. And then finally, just to finish off the video, there is a global map showing the rollout times for Season 2. Now, there is going to be an hour downtime before the release of Season 2, so all multiplayer events, everything that involves multiplayer or cooperative online, whatever it might be, is going to be down for an hour before the launch. So just bear that in mind as well. And on the screen right now, you'll see the global map of all of the rollout times for Season 2. But guys, that's the breakdown of the stream really, and picking out the main parts and going through them. There was obviously a lot more spoken about, but I don't think they're really valued being spoken about in this video. And if you guys wanted to go look at those, I'm sure you can go back and watch the stream as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I'm overly really excited for the new season and the seasonal narrative event. But make sure you guys do leave a like. Let me know your more thoughts down below. Subscribe for more content. Speak soon, guys, and take care.